Hey guys, welcome. My name's Mark, Crypto Boy in Oz. It is Wednesday, the 16th of June. Just doing a quick market update, a quick update on the news. And the news is never boring. Never boring. There's always something going on. I mean, I live in Australia, Western Australia, and it's good. There's not that much crime. There is crime, but not a lot. But for the best part of it, like the news. Stuff that gets on the news is not newsworthy, and it's because there's nothing going on half the time that they put all this pretty boring stuff on, and that don't happen in crypto. In crypto, it's not always good. Sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's downright ugly. Sometimes it's going sideways. Sometimes it's crashing. Sometimes your Bitcoin, your Ethereum's down 50%. Or it's going through the roof. But whatever it's doing, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you interested. Sometimes it keeps you stressed. Sometimes it keeps you exhilarated. It keeps you happy. Who'd have thought crypto can give you so many emotions? It's like a down roller coaster. It gives you so much emotion because, I don't know, it's like releasing endorphins. Like it's as if you've got like an addiction sometimes because you kind of eat, sleep, breathe, and repeat crypto, and it's so true. The more you're just going down a rabbit hole. The more you go into it, the more you love it. The more you love it, the more data you consume, the more knowledge you consume, and you find that that's all you do. You just consume and consume and consume, and you become like a self-taught expert, and you get to feel like shit. You actually know. You don't realize how much you know. I mean, the knowledge I've consumed since March is unbelievable. I actually feel quite confident, even looking at charts. I'm like looking at a chart. I'm thinking, oh yeah, there's the trend lines. You've got your support, your resistance, your moving averages. And I'm like, oh my god, like, I didn't have a clue about any of that. I know what bloody all the different blockchains, your DeFi, your layer twos, your NFTs. I'm like, Jesus, like literally 3 months ago, I knew nothing at all. Nothing. Who sung that song? So this is my website. Well, no, it's not my website actually. I don't have a website. This is my YouTube channel, and it's getting better, isn't it? I mean, look, I'm really impressed with the thumbnails. They're getting better and better and better. And I mean, these two here. I'm rocking these two. They look awesome. Even this one. And apart from the guy on the thumbnail, he's a bit scary. Well, he is there anyway. It's like he's seen something he shouldn't have done. So anyway, just I just wanted to jump on the BTC chart just to look. You can tell I don't pay for trading view. What's the point? I don't get it. So let's have a drink. Sorry, I did a video just before this on Define, and I was so thirsty. I had to actually pause the video and go and make a drink because I felt like I had sawdust on my tongue. It was so dry. Anyway, so here's Bitcoin. So look at the chart here, and we can see that we've got some movement up and down and sideways action. Do you like that accent? I don't know what it was, but I can do them short and sweet, short bursts, but I can't do prolonged accents. They just go completely off cue and into something they shouldn't do. So Bitcoin's 41. How low is it going to go? And I was saying a minute ago, it could go down to 20k realistically. I mean, I hope it doesn't. I hope it does bounce off this trend line and onward and upward. But I've got a feeling it's going to come back down, and I don't know where to. But we shall see. I actually sold a couple of Ethereum, just because I think the price is going to come down. Where to? I'm not 100% sure yet, but I sold Ethereum at 2,000. I'm going to sell it 2560 up here. So then I've got a buy order in to buy it back at $2,270. So I'm not being greedy. I'm just making small profits here and there. And then I also did the same with Terra Luna. I sold at 615, and I've got a buy order to buy back in at 555, just to make some small gains again, 10% or something thereabouts. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be greedy. Forget if it goes down even more. I just know that wherever it goes, I've made extra coins for nothing. And that can either be in a cash portfolio ready for a dip, or put it straight into other altcoins, or keep it in the same altcoins and just have more of the same, basically. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. The profit, that is, when I say I'm buying back, I'm not spending all the money. What I'm doing is whatever I sell it for that amount is the exact same amount I'm going to be buying back. So that way, where was this trend line? What's this other chart we're looking at? BTC dominance, that's it. So look here, I mean, look how much Bitcoin was, the dominance was just going down, 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 down. Then it went up, and then it like falls, come back down again. Now it's going up, and it's gone up to 46 now. We're on 46. So it's slowly working its way up. And I think when we get to 50, then that's when we're going to see a bit more price movement on the upside, which is going to be interesting when it comes. Let's have a quick look at the CMC. So Bitcoin's, everything's down. Everything's on a downward cycle. So I think most of today is just going to go downhill. And I think it's all to do with the death cross, as they call it, where the moving averages. I think it's all to do with that. Here we are. How low? I do not know, but it's whatever Bitcoin does, all the other coins are going to do exactly the same. You might get the odd one that defies the odds, but most of them are going to go down. I mean, look at AMP. AMP, what the hell? 37%, that's up. It's weird because I was watching BitBoy Crypto this morning, or last night, whenever it was, and TJ thought Ben had bought a load of AMP, $2,000 worth, and Ben thought TJ had bought a load of AMP. And it turns out neither of them did, so I don't know who bought it. But did they know something we didn't? Because why the hell is that gone up 122% in a day? Or has it gone up 122% in a day because BitBoy Crypto have got 1.1 million subscribers and every bugger's jumped on the bandwagon and bought it? That could be why. And was it bought on purpose? So to pump the price? Have they been doing something underhand? Can't say for sure. Who knows? Who knows? So I just went to touch on this story here. Michael Saylor, Ethereum has its place. Bitcoin is 50 times better than gold. So here we go. Michael Saylor believes Ethereum and stablecoins have a spot in the cryptocurrency space, and also outlined by how much Bitcoin has outperformed gold. After asserting once more that Bitcoin is the better hedge than gold during these uncertain economic times, MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor, known for his support only for BTC, also noted that Ethereum and some other cryptocurrencies have a place in the ecosystem. I mean, Michael Saylor, I mean, he is Mr. Bitcoin, isn't it? We did think that about Elon, or Elon, as George calls him. We did think that about Elon. Is Michael Saylor going to be the same, do you think? I hope not. I hope he plays the game and stays with Bitcoin. And I mean, I can't imagine him leaving. He's got that many. He's got over 90,000 Bitcoin. But I hope he doesn't turn and cause problems, because he's really driving Bitcoin at the minute. He's like the CEO of Bitcoin, in all honesty. Anyway, ever since MicroStrategy started purchasing sizable amounts of Bitcoin, and Saylor did for himself as well, the company's CEO has become one of the most prominent BTC maximalists. Not kidding. As such, he has rarely discussed any other digital asset, and even more infrequently had anything positive to say. However, he seems significantly more optimistic about some cryptocurrencies, especially Ether, and a more recent interview with CNBC's Fast Money, and that's what I wanted to touch on. I'm just going to play this Fast Money clip. It is very, very interesting, so just have a listen to this.
Why do you keep buying Bitcoin? 3 purchases, large purchases at least, in less than a year.
Well, first, the world's waking up to the fact that Bitcoin is digital property on an open monetary network. And that's pretty profound, because it's going to spread to billions of people around the planet. It's digital gold on a big tech network. We have 2 strategies, and one of our strategies is to acquire and to hold Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy is the first company to do a Dutch auction or a share repurchase to buy Bitcoin. We're the first company to do a convertible debt offering to buy Bitcoin. Last week, we became the first company to do a senior secured debt offering to buy Bitcoin. And we put in place this $1 billion at-the-market shelf registration so that we'd have a standing program to be able to go back to the capital markets to issue equity in the future should the circumstances present themselves. And we would use that either to buy Bitcoin or to retire debt or for general corporate purposes. We have a standing share repurchase program, so we can go back and buy our own shares. We've got $200 million or more in that program, and we're pairing this $1 billion at-the-market program with that so that the company has all of its options open in the future.
It seems like you're really very involved in Bitcoin. Is this distracting from what MicroStrategy's main business is? Is this what investors really want you to be doing?
No, I think it's actually an ideal situation, because our stock was trading about $120 a share with $60 a share in cash. And our investors told us the cash was trash. It was a liability on our balance sheet. And if we had given it all back, we would be trading at $60 a share. Instead, we rotated our shareholder base and transformed ourselves into a company that's able to sell enterprise software and to acquire and hold Bitcoin. And we've done it successfully with leverage. That has increased the power of the brand by a factor of 100. We just had our best software quarter in history, or in the last 10 years, last quarter. The core business is up 10%. The Bitcoin business is driving shareholder returns. I think the employees are happy. The shareholders are happy.
Mike Woods, Karen, thanks for being on our show. Let me ask you about when you did the offering for debt to potentially buy Bitcoin. How do you think about that versus issuing equity? I think, I don't know, you're paying 6 and change percent.
When our stock was 120, we bought. Yeah, when our stock was 120, we bought back the shares at 140 to buy Bitcoin. That was accretive. And then we did a convert offering at 398, and that was accretive because our stock was 300. When our stock hit 1,000, we did a convert offering at $1,432 a share because that was accretive to all the other classes of security holders. And when our stock came back in, we saw the opportunity to do this secured debt financing. We did that because we could get the capital at 6 1/8% interest, and that's not dilutive to the equity holders, and it's not dilutive to the convert holders. So it was another major accretive financing that we could do for the benefit of all of our security holders.
Michael, one thing I've learned over the last 9 months is you're extraordinarily thoughtful in terms of how you look at your business and the things that you're implementing. And we spent the last half hour prior to you getting here talking about inflation. Kyle Bass today talked about real inflation being 12%. You've had a lot of voices on the inflation front. How do you view inflation? How does the institutional views of Bitcoin look through that lens, the lens of inflation?
I think over the past 12 months, we've all been waiting for inflation. I think we're seeing it right now. I think investors are saying that Bitcoin's up 330% and gold's up 7% in that period. So Bitcoin is outperforming gold as an inflation hedge by a factor of 50. So you're seeing Paul Tudor Jones and the other early Bitcoin believers thinking maybe it's time for me to double or triple my allocation. Between you and me, I'm surprised they're not increasing their allocation by a factor of 10 because Bitcoin's 50 times better.
Hey, Michael, I just Googled the term Bitcoin maximalist, and a picture of you came up here. So you've been buying Bitcoin hand over fist. You're raising capital. You just went to. What about Ethereum? What about this move towards proof of stake that we should see this summer? I mean, are you thinking about diversification? Is there room in the MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy for Ethereum and proof of stake?
Yeah, let's talk about the crypto universe. You've got digital property, and Bitcoin is the highest, most dominant digital property network. Think of it as like granite blocks in Manhattan, in cyber Manhattan. Then you've got digital currency. That's like Tether and stable coins. They want to be money markets in cyberspace. And so they'll be like the CBDC dollars. And then you've got digital applications like Ethereum. Ethereum wants to dematerialize the JP Morgan building and the banking establishment and all of the exchanges. There's a place for all of these things properly understood. And you're going to want to build your buildings on a solid footing of granite. So Bitcoin is meant to last forever, high integrity, very durable. Ethereum is trying to dematerialize exchanges and the finance establishment. I think that as the market starts to understand these things, there's a place for everybody.
Michael, I want to end by asking you, I mean, you've given us a really good playbook for why it makes sense to buy Bitcoin. So if I'm an investor and I've got money to put to work, why would I buy a share of MicroStrategy? Why wouldn't I just buy Bitcoin?
Well, MicroStrategy's got the ability to sweep our software cash flows into Bitcoin. So we're an operating company that reinvests in Bitcoin. We also have the ability to raise debt financing. So we were able to borrow $1 billion at 0% interest and buy Bitcoin. And so your ETF won't be able to borrow billions of dollars at low interest rates and leverage up. And so to the extent that the investors feel the management team knows how to manage leverage and manage the core business, then we should get a premium against an ETF. And to the extent that they don't, we'll get a discount. So we have to stay on our toes.
That was pretty interesting. I enjoyed listening to that. I always enjoy listening to Michael Saylor because he's so articulate in how he talks, and he's so obviously on the pulse when it comes to Bitcoin and how everything works and everything in the background works. And I don't know, it doesn't matter what question gets thrown at him, he's got a very good answer to come back with, and he's not going anywhere, is he? I mean, you've got 90,000+ Bitcoin, and he's only got to acquire more and more and more. And I can't imagine him, to be honest, buying Ethereum, because he'll just probably think, why buy Ethereum when I can buy Bitcoin? Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is going to be the golden asset above all coins. It's never gonna be replaced. So yeah, it's a good little take on that. I've done that story. This one caught my eye. El Salvador's considering paying workers salaries in Bitcoin. Why not? I mean, for everyday use, people probably want to have fiat currency, but El Salvador's a bit of an exception, isn't it? Because it's a legal tender now. So I don't know how it's going to be implemented for buying everyday goods. It's going to be interesting. So following the adoption of Bitcoin as the country's second legal tender, El Salvador's government is discussing if companies would pay their employees in Bitcoin. I'm sure they would, actually. I'm sure a lot of people would probably take it in Bitcoin, or if not all of it, maybe like a percentage of it. I mean, if I was employed and I could take a salary, I'd pretty much, whatever I could survive on to pay my bills, I'd take it in fiat, and then anything left over, I'd take it in Bitcoin. But if the country as a whole has to accept Bitcoin, so that means all your bills and everything could be paid in Bitcoin, then would you just get paid in Bitcoin? I don't know. Problem being for me, is if you got paid in Bitcoin, you'd probably want to get a second job that paid you in fiat to pay the bills, because you won't want to spend your Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is like too precious. Like, I don't know, it's like before Bitcoin came around, oh, well, you can get paid in gold bars. You won't really want to take that gold bar down to your bank to pay your mortgage, would you? Or to a shop to buy your groceries. You'd be thinking, well, I've got to make some cash now to pay the bills to keep this gold bar. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. For just the general day-to-day purchases, is Bitcoin actually, is the Lightning Network capable, and would people want to spend it? That's the question. According to Castro, the decision to pay salaries in Bitcoin will come after the Bitcoin's legal tender status becomes law. The Minister of Labour is working with the Ministers of Economy Finance to analyse the decision. As reported by Crypto Potato earlier in June, a supermajority of El Salvador's Congress voted in favour of President Nayib Bukele's Bitcoin plan. In fact, Crypto Ran is actually having dinner with the president today, which is crazy. So I can't wait to see what's to come of that. What's the outcome? What's he talked about? That'll be interesting. With the country's decision to adopt Bitcoin has seen high praise from Bitcoin enthusiasts and the crypto community. The Bitcoin move has raised concerns, especially from global financial institutions. However, El Salvador continues to forge ahead with its Bitcoin ambitions despite skepticism. Recently, the Central American Bank of Economic Integration announced that it would offer technical assistance to the El Salvadoran government in the implementation of Bitcoin as a legal tender. The government is also planning to mine Bitcoin with energy from volcanoes. That'll be really interesting. I didn't think the government had actually mine. I thought maybe the government had incentivize foreign investment maybe to come in and mine, to obviously do it that way, to get revenue from foreign investment coming in. I didn't actually think the government had been mining Bitcoin themselves, because that would be really centralized to a point. It'd be a bit extreme, in all honesty. Another story that I found interesting, they're all coming out of the woodwork, aren't they? I mean, I know they're obviously the smaller countries and you're probably struggling nations, but Panama to present crypto-related bill in July. So following El Salvador, opposition politician Gabriel Silva says he is seeking consensus to make cryptocurrency legal tender in Panama. This would be interesting. Next month, Panamanian Congressman Gabriel Silva plans to present a bill that could potentially spearhead the adoption of cryptocurrencies as a legal tender and create tax incentives for crypto-related businesses. After El Salvador's president Nayib Bukele announced he was proposing a law to make Bitcoin legal tender, Silva tweeted on June the 7th that if Panama wanted to become a true hub of technology and entrepreneurship, it should also support cryptocurrencies. I mean, this is, again, it's just good news, isn't it? Just network effect. It's one to the other, and it'll continue. And what a lot of people don't realise as well is that even though El Salvador is a small country, which it is, 6.5 million residents, now Bitcoin is legal tender, then you've got to kind of ask yourself the question: if it's legal tender and it's a sovereign nation that isn't in bad standing with the IMF or anything, it's not like got bad credit or anything. It's a sovereign nation and it's a legal tender, so they've got to kind of, banks around the world have got to accept it. They've got to do. I mean, if El Salvador wants to trade with another country, they can't say, "Oh, sorry, we don't accept your country's currency." That's just ludicrous. It's got to be like a foreign exchange. It's got to be like, you've got to, all these banks, the IMF, they've all got to accept Bitcoin now to trade, and that's just one country. So if you've got someone like, obviously, I mean, it could be an individual coming from El Salvador to Australia, and they've got the Bitcoin and they need Australian dollars. Then really they've got to have a means to facilitate the transfer. So it's got to affect the whole world really. And I think for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, this is absolutely brilliant news. Like really, really good. This is what I was talking about earlier as well. So the looming death cross may put Bitcoin bull run in danger ahead of Fed meeting. Analysts anticipate Bitcoin to continue its recovery rally above 40k on bets of increasing anti-inflation, but a looming death cross could spoil the upside outlook. Bitcoin wobbled around 40k as investors waited for the United States Federal Reserve to release its new set of economic projections on Wednesday. The market's focus shifted to two important questions. Will the US central bank officials signal their intentions to raise interest rates in 2023 instead of 24? And how much do they think inflation will rise in the remainder of 2021 and the next year? In March, the last Fed projection saw 11th Federal Open Market Committee officials agreeing to keep interest rates near zero at least until 2023. They suggested a tightening in the Fed's monetary policy in 2024. It would also imply that the Fed might trim its $120 billion asset purchasing program earlier than anticipated. So the Bitcoin outlook is bullish. The rate hike projection gives Bitcoin at least 2 years to continue its anti-inflation bull run. The benchmark cryptocurrency emerged as a star performer after the March 2020 global market crash, led by fears that the Fed's quantitative easing policies, coupled with the US government's $1 trillion worth of stimulus aid, would sap investors' appetite for government bonds and the US dollar. The BTC USD exchange rate jumped from its mid-March 2020 low of 3,858 to as high as 65k almost in April 2021. Meanwhile, the yield on the benchmark 10-year US Treasury note surged from 0.36 in March 2020 to 1.74 in March 21, yields most inversely to bond prices. However, this is the death cross bit. Technical setups on Bitcoin charts don't agree with bullish analysts. For instance, the BTC USD exchange rate recently encouraged higher selling pressure in the 40 to 42k range. As a result, traders apprehensively traded the areas as their cue to secure short-term profits, thereby risking declines towards the next point of support around 35 to 32 and 30k. Whenever a death cross occurs, Bitcoin experiences deeper downside. And it has done. And I don't even think there's any good reason for it. I just think it's because TAs that really associate the 50 and 200 day moving average when they cross as like a bad omen, if you will. And I think they kind of force it upon themselves. They expect the price to go down. So I think a lot of people sell, preempting it. And then you've got the whales that are kind of pushing it along by doing everything they can in the background to drop the price. And then obviously the price will drop, people will short it, and then all of a sudden the price will rocket up and all them shorts will get liquidated. And then they'll probably long it to get their money back, and then the whales will probably sell it again and bring the price back down again and liquidate the other way. But again, I ain't no TA. I'm just an average man with a keen interest in cryptocurrency and changing my wealth for the future and my family. So anyway, that is it for today. I hope you found it interesting. If you've got any comments, please leave them in the comment section. I mean, that last story, to be honest, kind of went on a bit, didn't it? I thought it was going to be a bit more Bitcoin related, but it turns out there are a hell of a lot of US banking policies involved in all that as well, which I suppose it helps if you've had a pre-read it and possibly highlighted the more relevant bits, which is probably something I'll do for the next one. Anyway, it's been awesome having you with me, and I hope that you invest well, my friends. Don't leverage. Please don't leverage. I've never done it. I never will do it. And I wouldn't short or long Bitcoin either. Which is one of the same thing, but just don't do it. And like even just selling it, trading it sometimes is bad enough if you lose out. So until the next video, I shall see you again, and hopefully that'll be tomorrow. So if you like the video, smash the like button, because that shows YouTube that you like it and it'll put it in front of more people. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, please do, and tell your friends. Until next time, my friends.